What a week it has been. Mistakes were definitely made, but not everything was a loss. But we're going to jump right into it. So thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Jordan Kyle, and this is the... Hey, I'm kind of in the middle of something. What? Well, that's not good. Okay, yeah, I'll tell him. Okay, thanks, bye. So I guess the Drone Racing League has a pretty tight grip on the letters D, R, and L. So you're listening to Mad Props with Jordan Kyle. It has been one episode so far of this podcast, and I had no clue how much support and love I'd be getting from the community. No one from the DRL has reached out with anything negative to say. It's all been pretty neutral from them. I just didn't know how many people would see this podcast as they did. I appreciate so many of you reaching out in support and even answering a few of the questions from the last podcast. After some further research and just trying to cover myself in the long run, I decided to change the title of the podcast. That being said, this is still a commentary on the Drone Racing League. I will be covering races, drama, and the community around the sport that we all love so dearly. As stated in the last podcast, this station isn't directly affiliated with the Drone Racing League. I want to be a megaphone for the community to express any desires for change in the league, but more so, I just want a chance to talk about my love for the game. I am by no means an expert, although I hope to have experts on the show in the future. But let's get into some comments from the community from the last podcast. Thank you to everyone who reached out. It was extremely informative to me, so I hope this podcast also teaches someone something. Firstly, the metaverse. Right after I recorded last episode, the official DRL website was updated with a few more dates on the schedule. A user by the name of FPV Gilbert posted in the DRL Discord that on Wednesday, January 11th, there will be a, quote, metaverse race in Meta City. There seems to be many crypto-related things called Meta City. Most notable is a company called Meta City that claims that, quote, Meta City is the capital of the metaverse. Their Discord says they're alive and well, although there have been 5 posts in the past month, one of the latest being a user asking, "Is this alive?" To which the Meta Mayor replied with a resounding yes, followed by crickets. There's also a Twitter profile called AlgoXland, I think they want to be pronounced Algoland maybe, that claims it is building skyscrapers on Algorand, and you can reserve your NFT condo before they're sold out. However, if you dig a little deeper, Algorand, the head sponsor of the DRL, doesn't follow Algoland and seems to want nothing to do with it. Algoland also have a Discord that consists exclusively of a bot welcoming each member who joins, with no further posts from humans. Nice. Skepticism aside, if this is something I can join to see the race above me or in some stadium, I'll be getting a VR headset ASAP, because that sounds amazing, as long as I don't have to mint any NFTs to get there. I'm curious how the DRL plans to roll out the information on this. The Discord seems to be more up to date than the website, unfortunately, but they should have more of an announcement than that. We'll see. If any listeners get some intel on what that is, please reach out to me on Instagram or on Twitter. My new username is @MadPropsPodcast. Moving on to the season opener being Level 2 of the DRL. According to a trusted source, Level 1 was in fact an IRL race that was raced without a live crowd before Level 2. Because Level 2 did have a live crowd, the league wanted to air it first as to not confuse any of the live spectators at the IRL event. They plan to release Level 1 next Wednesday, November 30th. Also, the site has been updated that Level 1 will air both the semifinals and the finals, not just the finals, which is super exciting. The following race will air the next day on December 1st, but I have not confirmed if that will be Level 3, although I assume the league will get back on track and show the levels consecutively from here on out. Additionally, on their website, the NBC logo has been removed from the list of streaming platforms to watch the race on. My source says that the DRL has not cut ties with NBC. However, the episodes will re-air on television at a later date. As for the points saying one thing on their website and not adding up during the score update from last week, Canoodle, a spokesperson for the DRL on Discord, released that this season, the points at each level will go as follows. Bear with me here. First place will get 25 points. Second place will get 20 points. Third place will get 16 points. Fourth, 13 points. Fifth, 11. Sixth, 9. Seventh, 7 points. Eighth, 5. Ninth, 3 points. 10th, 2 points. 11th, 1 point. And the last place will not receive any points. However, this is the point system only for the IRL races. For sim races, first place will get just 12 points. Second place will get 9 points. Third, 7. Fourth, 6 points. Fifth, 5 points. Sixth, 4 points. Seventh, 3 points. Eighth, 2 points. Ninth, 1 point. And the last 3 places will not receive any points. If you'd like this written out, it's all laid out nicely from Canoodle on their Discord. This puts more than double the weight on an IRL race than the simulator races, so pilots will have to bring the heat when they are under the pressure of a live audience. I think this will affect MCK quite a bit, who's been very open about his struggles with anxiety under the spotlights. And Maverick, who was this year's simulator tournament champion, he has shown how good he can be in the simulator, but he needs it to translate to the real stuff. If you'd like to reverse engineer the scores, you can find out how each pilot placed by subtracting the scores from last week's Level 2 score update. You can also find that information on the DRL Discord posted by user iMan in conjunction with FPV Gilbert. But I don't want this podcast to be a place of spoilers, so for those of you who want to find out for yourself at next week's race, the choice is yours. I personally really like this scoring system. Even if you don't make the finals, you can still get points. It makes it so you're rewarded even if you aren't among the best pilots out there. If I'm a huge fan of a pilot who didn't make the finals, I don't want them to be tied with all the others at 0 points. I want to at least be able to say that my racer placed a little better than their competition. I think with every season of the DRL, this point system has gotten a little better, and I really like this one. I just wish it was posted on their website. Now again, I want to reiterate, the league hasn't reached out to me in any negative way. I simply want to choose a more sustainable name for the long term. So DRL, if you're listening, we're on the same team. I'm a huge fan of what you do. I get the same feeling watching Halo Walker face off with Vanover as I did watching LeBron James and Steph Curry growing up. I hope to come to an IRL level someday and see the race for myself in person. I want to stand in line for the pilots' autographs just like all the other fans. I also would love to meet Nick and Rachel and Ryan, Ashley, Melanie, your amazing team that makes this childish thrill possible. Heck, I'd love to have each of you on the podcast at some point. I'm sure we'll be in touch. The DRL podcast is written and produced by Jordan Kyle. It's a commentary on the Drone Racing League, but has no direct affiliation with the league itself. The intro and outro music was written and produced by Mike Cole. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing. If you have any insight, questions, or comments on the league or this episode, feel free to reach out on Instagram or Twitter at MadPropsPodcast. Thanks for listening.